And when I was dead, you gave me new life. I'm lifting you up with all of my might. I don't care who's to the left or the right, you're all that's on my mind. Don't really care what they say, what they think, I feel so alive. I'm unashamed, I'm wide awake. Not gonna hide, can't deny, you're my everything. Here's to the free, who still believe. You're the star of the show that we came to see. With all my heart, all my life, gonna live it loud. I wanna make you famous. Light up your name, let it shine, never burning out. I wanna make you famous.
Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here, and this is race number 2 in season number 6 of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. We are here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Kidz Kolorz 500, the traditional second race of the season here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. And for the first time ever, this is a 65-lap race. Traditionally, this race has been 50 laps long. But throughout Season 6 of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, races are now 20% of the length as they would normally be in the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series. So a little bit longer this season for this race, but that is not going to stop from this being a fantastic race. It's actually going to make it a better race because there's going to be more racing in it. Anyways, not that the points matter as much in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series as they do in other series. I will still go over the top 5 in points here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, as well as give the guys who are already locked into the chase. And our winner of the Daytona 500 on Saturday, Cameron Garlington, is already locked into the chase from his win that he gained in that very thrilling Daytona 500 on Saturday. He holds the points lead. He has 46 points towards the championship. Daniel McMillan is 4 points behind. He's tied with Chris Skinlart, also 4 points behind in second place. Elijah Gordon, 5 points behind. Jordan Lopez, 6 points behind, coming into today's Kidz Kolorz 500. Now, I know that name seems odd. I mention this every single year I do this race, but good friend of mine, Riley White, I don't know if he's around on YouTube anymore, but great friend of mine gave me the name of this race back in 2014 when I was doing stuff back then, and I've just kept it ever since, just because he's such a good friend of mine. So the Kidz Kolorz 500, I don't even know if Kidz Kolorz is the company anymore, but you know what? It's been a tradition for this race to be called the Kidz Kolorz 500. It's been a tradition for me to explain it every single time I run this race. But we're here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, and we can't race until we get those engines fired up. So here is the starting command for the Kidz Kolorz 500 here at Atlanta.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
And the drivers are ready, the cars are fired up, and the second race of the season and a chase spot on the line here today at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Got ourselves a veteran driver. The number 4 of Trey Bartow will be starting on the pole position for today's race. Alongside him, it is the Daytona 500 champion, Cameron Garlington. Now, an interesting thing, the top, or the next 4 positions, with the exception of the pole sitter, positions 2 through 5 all tied, and the tiebreaker is the amount of points that they have gained so far. And of course, we've only had one race, so Cameron Garlington had the most points. He gets second position. Row number 2 is Chris Skinlart and Ace Garcia. Both those guys rookie drivers. Chris Skinlart, his owner Davey Johnson, the owner of Wood Brothers Racing, currently leads in the owner's points. So that team definitely doing very strong. Ace Garcia on the outside in row 2. Jay Jefferson had a flip at Daytona and wants to change all of that around here today at Atlanta. He starts starts in the third row, I should say, alongside Reagan Whitlock in the number 78. Adam Lewis in the number 22 starts alongside Jordan Lopez in the number 17, who helped Cameron Garlington push to the victory at Daytona. He was behind Daniel Bouchard, and he might have well just decided that Daytona 500 as he helped that inside lane. Row 5 is Sergio Larvin Alonso and Anthony Lopez. And that rounds up the top 10 starting positions here for the Kidz Kolorz 500 in season number 6 of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. All 40 drivers rolling off, ready to get this one started. We're green flag racing here at Atlanta. I like to describe this racetrack is a Daytona or Talladega, just a mile shorter. This is a 1.54 mile racetrack, yet they pack race and they pass like crazy when they're in this pack. Now, once we get the pit stops, this will be the first race with pit stops this season. Once we get to those pit stops, it will spread the field out. We could get a couple of cautions, however, and that could bunch the field back up, and it could get very crazy as this race goes along. But Chris Skinlart at Wood Brothers Racing Team is leading in the owner's points, and Chris Skinlart, the driver for Davey Johnson, leads the field here in Atlanta. Here comes Isaac Nichols in the number 83. And Isaac Nichols, I believe he got a decent run, I think, in the Daytona 500. I'm not entirely sure. I can't quite remember. But he did win his dual race on Friday, so he's definitely shown some strength in the number 83 for BK Racing. But Ryan Madden in the number 77 will lead lap number 3 here in the Kidz Kolorz 500. Here comes Julius Henderson. I know I said I thought he was going to be the guy who would win the Daytona 500, one of those late race restarts. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. Kind of fell back mid-pack, but here he is running up front here at Atlanta. Of course, the way these guys race, I would not be surprised if every single driver led at some point throughout this race. That's just the way they race here, and it's just crazy here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. We could very well get a crash with all this three-wide racing as well. Here comes a couple of veterans on the inside lane. Alexander Rowe was able to lead lap number 4. It's now Zachary Fitzwater leading the field in the number 41. And the Season 4 champion, Matt Gallio, in the number 88. Here comes Noah Cars in number 3. I've said it countless times before, he's never won before on Napa Fan, but this season might just be a season to get that first ever victory on my channel. And Marty Johnson probably isn't too happy about what happened at Daytona in the Daytona 500. The guy who pushed him to the victory in the Melillo Smooth Fest blocked him at the end of the race, and he was not able to contend for the win because of that. But Marty Johnson seeking some redemption for Go Fast Racing and Michael Kelly. Tried to take the lead there, was not able to do it. Here comes Caleb Hoffman on the inside of Dale Salzman. This is Salzman's first start of the season. He did not make the Daytona 500, but here he is driving for Gaunt Brothers Racing. Cookie Helms, the owner of that team, and they took the lead for a split moment. But with the frequent passing that we get here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, you do not stay out front for too long. Hoffman was out front for a slight moment. Here comes Stuart Gratton in the number 37. And Cody Sill in number 1. Elijah Gordon was running up front at Daytona. I believe he got a pretty good finish in the Daytona 500. I don't actually have the results right here with me, so I can't actually tell you that, and I forgot how the results went. But Cody Sill now up front in number 1, a rookie driver there. Number 5, Elijah Gordon trying to get around Stuart Gratton. Ricky Stevenson in the number 38. Did not have the best of Daytona 500s. He wants to get some redemption from that race. And here's Jonathan King. He was the Daytona 500 pole sitter. He's in the originally up front. Richard Kinghart in the number 19. Driving for Joe Gibbs Racing. But it's still Cody Sill out front here in the number 1 machine. We are still green flag racing here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Now, the races are longer this season, but that does not mean that the pit runs are going to be more spread out. They're going to pit at the same intervals that they always have been in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. So in about 20 laps, you're going to see these guys come down. It's going to be about a 3-stop race compared to what traditionally was a 2-stop race here in the Kidz Kolorz 500. So that will definitely add a spice of excitement to this event here today at Atlanta. And another thing I did forget to mention, there is no stage racing here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. We're not implementing any bonus points throughout the race. It's just whatever you get at the end of the race is the points that you receive in each race. However, there will be playoff points at the end of the regular season. I've mentioned this before. The top 10 Oh, we got a crash! Trey Bartow, I believe, was involved a little bit. He avoided it, but it's Jesse Turner around in the 43. John Arndt, the last winner of this race. Matt Delio involved for a second race in a row. I think Hoffman was involved as well. Alexander Rowe. And the first caution here in the Kidz Kolorz 500 for Season 6 of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series has occurred. Tristan Allen with damage in the number 2. I saw Trey Bartow back in there, and I thought he was going to get involved. He did not get involved, however. But the number 43 at Jesse Turner did. And how about this? The Season 4 winner of this race, Garrett Zenor, won the race back to the line. But he's not going to come down the pit lane first. And that's one interesting thing about some of these races. When you get so much passing, and a caution comes out right when they race back to the line. The guy who wins the race back to the line might not necessarily lead the field down the pit lane. It's actually going to be Blaine Kidz, who was second at the line. Fourth at the line was Jordan Lopez. He's going to come down the pit lane second. So that's one of the oddities about this, but hey, that's just the way it goes, and that's just the way it works out for Blaine Kidz. And as I was saying, at the end of the regular season, there will be playoff points awarded to the 16 chase drivers in order of the points that they received in the regular season. So whoever has the most points at the end of the regular season will have 20 playoff points, and those playoff points will carry over in each round. We'll see who wins the race off of the pit lane here. I believe Daniel McMillan is going to do so. No, Jordan Lopez is going to win the race off, and the number 17, who is the teammate to Garrett Zenor, will lead the field to the restart here in the Kidz Kolorz 500. Garrett Zenor, the number 6, is fourth. How about that Roush Fenway Racing organization? Luke Rainey, the owner. Hey, if they get like a 1-2 finish, that Roush Fenway organization is going to move their way up in the owner's points. But anyways, let's go ahead and review. Oh no! Jordan Lopez just blew up in the number 17. Absolutely unbelievable. While he was leading the race, he came off of the pit lane first, and his team might have messed something up there. Jordan Lopez, it looks like his day is going to be done after an expired motor, lap 13 of this race. That is going to relinquish the lead over to Daniel McMillan in the number 95. He's going to be the guy who leads the field down the pit lane, or he's going to lead the field to the restart, excuse me. Daniel McMillan will lead the field to the restart when we restart here in the Kidz Kolorz 500. But first, let's review the crash that happened on lap 11 of the race to bring out the first caution here at Atlanta. Well, like 4 wide does not work at Daytona, 4 wide does not work here at Atlanta. The Daytona 500 champion, Cameron Garlington on the inside of John Arndt, Reagan Whitlock and Jesse Turner, Ace Garcia as well. And just too close for comfort, the defending winner of this race, John Arndt, got pushed up in the Reagan Whitlock. You see, Caleb Hoffman hit the outside wall back in there, and then Jesse Turner, Reagan Whitlock go around. I think Ace Garcia was just fine, but Eric Almenard in the 15, Alexander Rowe, the 7-8 around John Arndt. Does not look like he's going to win this race in back-to-back seasons. This race last year actually went caution-free, and John Arndt was able to win it, but not the case this season. You see Caleb Hoffman, he did hit the outside wall there, trying to react to that 4 wide in front of him. He should be able to continue in the number 14, but you see Matt Daly, he has some damage in the 88. He has 1 point towards the championship coming into today's race. The Season 4 champion, not really getting the best of starts to his season. And I believe Tristan Allen, he avoided this one in the number 2. Could have been a lot worse. We've seen cars flip here at Atlanta. But that was not the case, fortunately, here in this first caution of the day in the Kidz Kolorz 500. We are going to replay this one in real time. And the number 78, Reagan Whitlock, in that 4 wide situation with Cameron Garlington, John Arndt, and Caleb Hoffman. A bunch of veteran drivers involved in this crash. And you see Hoffman getting to the outside wall there. Turner goes into the wall as well. And John Arndt spins around in the number 24, Alexander Rowe. Looks like Tristan Allen did get some damage in the number 2. He pushed that 27 a little bit, and you see Matt Daly with his damage to the number 88. On board, the number 14 of Caleb Hoffman for this incident. And he's going to get a pretty good view of what happened in this crash. Number 14, he did scrape that outside wall rather significantly, but he should be able to continue. But as for some other guys, especially Jordan Lopez, who blew up, might not necessarily be the case. Let's go ahead, get to the restart here in the Kidz Kolorz 500 at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Daniel McMillan, the leader in this race.
Just get home from school, you got nothing to do? Well then, turn on your computer and listen to the NRLOA podcast, where we bring you up to date on all things all stock car racing and NASCAR, and on your local short track near you. we'll have things such as Modified and Mock Series Corner, followed by PCS Rated, WRLA, and so much more.
I think Elliott Sadler can probably win the race.
It's the NRLOA Podcast every Monday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time on youtube.com/MaxTheHedgehog77.
Back here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Kidz Kolorz 500 Season 6 of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. And we're fresh in the season as well. One thing I would like to point out, that number 95 won last year here in the Kidz Kolorz 500 with John Arndt driving the machine. But it's now rookie Daniel McMillan leading the field. He's going to lead the field to the restart here in the Kidz Kolorz 500. Right behind him, it's Blaine Keys. He has never won a race in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series before, but his opportunity is here right now, running second. The Season 4 Kidz Kolorz 500 winner, Garrett Senor, running in the third position. Adam Lewis, a rookie driver, running in fourth. Sergio Larvin Alonso, Jonathan King, Matt Tuck, Daniel Bouchard in number 11, who finished second at Daytona. Ricky Stevenson, and Ace Garcia. I believe that might be the top 11 drivers coming to the restart here in the Kidz Kolorz 500. And the number 95 leads the field to the green flag. Single file restart. Nobody on the inside lane. Take a check and see who might have gotten knocked out in that crash. And nobody's going to get knocked out from the crash. But Jordan Lopez, I do believe, is going to fail to finish this race as his engine expired, or something expired on his race car after his pit stop, though. It's an unfortunate one for the Roush Fenway driver there. But another Roush Fenway driver is up front. That's Garrett Senor trying to take the lead away from Daniel McMillan, the number 6, with help from Adam Lewis. Going to take the lead on lap 17 of 65. Here comes the number 22. The rookie driver of Adam Lewis trying to win his first ever Chick-fil-A Cup Series race and only his second ever start in this series. But he is going to get past as Matt Tuck in the number 42. Has one career win here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. He came at the Rockingham Motor Speedway across the ocean in the God's Not Dead 401 last season. He's trying to get his second win of the season, but he's going to be passed here by Ricky Stevenson, who's never won before on Napa Fan. Ace Garcia as well. Neither of these guys have won before on this channel. And Ace Garcia, he was actually involved in that crash that happened just a few laps ago. But it was minor, so he was able to stay out there. And here he is leading the field. Here comes Daniel Bouchard. And we're back to this 3-wide racing that we see here at Atlanta very frequently. Going 3-wide like this, sometimes somebody makes it 4-wide, and that's when you see the crashes. That's what happened on lap 11 to bring up the first caution, and it might happen again if they keep this up. But then again, we do have some guys back in here who are running single file, and that is going to help the cause at least. The smaller the pack is, the less likely these guys are going to crash. You see Matt Dalio and Tristan Allen, I believe, they're not at the end of this pack because we got Alexander Rowe, the 14 here of Caleb Hoffman. Chris Skinward, I do not believe he was involved in the crash, but he's back in here in the number 21. And John Arndt, the latest winner of this event, right now running in pretty deep position. Right now, I believe he is 37th. Jesse Turner, 38th right now in the 43. He gained significant damage from that crash. And then there's Reagan Whitlock in the number 78, running 39th. Jordan Lopez out of the race in the number 17. Here comes the number 37 of Stuart Gratton. He's going to take the lead away from Daniel Bouchard and JTG Doherty Racing. Cameron Gadget, the owner, they won the Daytona 500. Here they are, 1-2 right now in the Kidz Kolorz 500. And there's the Daytona 500 champion, Cameron Gurlington, taking the lead away from his teammate. Lap 21 going to the 47 here at Atlanta. Our Pulsar is moving his way back up through the field. That is Trey Bartow in the number 4. And Bartow's right behind Elijah Gordon in the number 5. A lot of veteran drivers running up front right now. Zachary Fitzwater in the 41 as well on that inside lane. Gordon not going to be able to clear the number 4 of Trey Bartow, and our pole sitter is going to take the lead back from the number 5 and lead lap 22 here in the Kidz Kolorz 500. So our first pit stop occurred about lap 12, lap 13, I believe, of this race. So the next cycle should probably start around lap 30, and then with the second cycle probably happening around lap 50 if this thing stays green. 2 more stops in this race, and as long as it doesn't happen around lap 62, lap 63, it should be a normal race. It should not be a fuel strategy race, but it is possible, especially if you get a caution right at the perfect time. Colin Driver in the number 55, making his first start in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. He did not qualify for the Daytona 500, but here he is in number 55. For Premium Motorsports, Zach Ryan, the owner of this team. Eric Allmenard also part of that team of Premium Motorsports, and here they are running up front with Colin Driver, who just led his first ever lap in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Blaine Keys in the number 48. He's going to take the lead away from the 55. Ryan Madden on the inside lane. Jay Jefferson, remember, he flipped at Daytona. And here he is still in this race running up front. Number 15 of Eric Allmenard, a part-time driver there. He's never won before in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. He would like to get a win. As a matter of fact, the top 5 right now, the only guy who has won is Ryan Madden in the number 77. Trying to get a lot more rookies running up front right now, and this is what happens. They cycle up to the front, and they cycle back, and they cycle back up front again. But if we get some green flag pit stops, that is all going to change. Number 77 of Ryan Madden to the inside of Blaine Keys for the lead. Pit stop will probably begin here in about 7 to 8 laps, I do believe. I know I said lap 30, but the pit stops, I believe, occurred lap 12, so that'd be about lap 32. Then the second cycle of pit stops will begin here at Atlanta. Ryan Madden out front. Isaac Nichols running in the second position. Number 48 here, Blaine Keys trying to remain in the third position. He's going to clear Anthony Lopez in the number 72. Noah Kolorz, Richard Kinghart, Ace Garcia on the inside lane. Adam Lewis on this outside lane trying to get a run on Noah Kolorz. And one thing I would like to point out, the tires are wearing out here right now. And passing is getting much harder. You're not seeing these guys passing for the lead very frequently anymore. And somebody has a problem. That's Richard Kinghart in the 19. He is slowing up the field. Either that or a caution came out and they just crossed the line. No, Richard Kinghart does have an issue. And you see the gap here. That 19 needs to get out of the way, but he's not doing so. He actually seems to be up to speed now, but something happened somewhere, and it created this massive gap between this lead pack here and down the Richard Kinghart. It was a very odd occurrence, but I believe that this thing can stay green and these guys do not come down the pit lane anytime in the next couple of laps. These guys should be able to close into this pack, so I do not know what happened. Something might have gone wrong with Richard Kinghart, but then it might have solved itself. So Richard Kinghart still in this thing in the number 19. Got Matt Tuck, Cameron Gurlington in this pack, and they are closing in on this lead pack right here. And I believe we might have some guys coming down the pit lane. Here's John Arden, the 24. You gotta be careful coming off the pit lane. He was involved in that crash. He was back in the field. He came down the pit lane. I believe that the second cycle has begun. Blaine Keys is going to stay out here. Daniel McMillan has already come down the pit lane in the number 95. And a majority of the drivers coming down this time. Only a couple of guys staying out. Actually, a few more guys staying out than I thought. But Blaine Keys, Ricky Stevenson, Matt Tuck, Ace Garcia, Reagan Whitlock, Garrett Tenor, Marty Johnson staying out onto the racetrack. And Ryan Madden leads the field down for the second cycle of pit stops here at Atlanta. We'll see where the 77 falls in place with the rest of these guys. You should see the rest of the field come down this time. You see Blaine Keys, Ricky Stevenson. And once those guys back in there who just came in are done, this second cycle of pit stops will be complete. And something you gotta watch out for here at Atlanta, them going double wide off the pit lane. Lots of times it creates an issue, and we might possibly see that, but we might not. If they're not going double wide off the pit lane, they should be just fine. I'm not seeing any yet. There's Elijah Gordon, Zachary Fitzwater. Possibly could see it here. They need to figure it out. Number 37. It looks like they're going to figure it out, and I believe these guys will all come off the pit lane single file. But if you remember past Kidz Kolorz 500 here at Atlanta, they've gone double wide off the pit lane. Here we go. That's Garrett Tenor and Ace Garcia. It's almost going to cause a crash, but it did not. That was close. Garcia almost clipped, or actually, was it the 6 that almost clipped Garcia? I think it was. That could have been bad, but fortunately they figured it out, and I believe we're going to remain under the green flag. Everybody getting through that green flag cycle of pit stops just fine. The leader is going to be Noah Kolorz as he goes to the inside of Ryan Madden and Blaine Keyes. Fascinatingly enough, all three of these guys are veteran drivers. And next rookie, highest rookie right now, is Anthony Lopez in the number 72. A great run for Gaunt Brothers Racing and Dale Salzman. They're up in the 4th position. Dale Salzman, he's been in a couple of seasons, but as a part-time driver in the series, Salzman has never been a full-time driver in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series before. They're getting around Jesse Turner. They're lapping him in the number 43. And the number 48 of Blaine Keyes is now out front here at Atlanta. We're not at Daytona anymore. We're at Atlanta. Hendrick Motorsports, the owner of that, or John Anders, the owner of Hendrick Motorsports, which is the number 48 team there. Team that the number 48 runs under. And Blaine Keyes going to lead lap 34 here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Once we cross the line next time by, it's going to be 30 laps to go, and we still have another green flag pit stop, if it's going to remain under the green flag, left to go in this race. Ryan Madden running in the 2nd position for Furniture Row Racing. Nathan Stapleton, the owner of that team. Richard Childress Racing, owned by Matthew Phillips. And number 3, part of that team there. Noah Kolorz running in the 3rd position right now. Dale Salzman and Anthony Lopez, along with Eric Almenar and these guys back in here, are closing in on these leaders. So you might want to watch for them possibly taking the lead here in the next couple of laps. You got Daniel McMillan, Ricky Stevenson, Isaac Nichols, and Richard Kinghart. All of those guys are rookies. They're running their way up front. Jesse Turner is getting passed by everybody right now. He was involved in that crash, and he's just not running as fast as he should be. Running 38th right now. Only 3 drivers lapped down, and one of them out of the race. Jesse Turner, Reagan Whitlock, both 1 lap down. Number 17 is Jordan Lopez out of the race because of an engine failure. Now about the Daytona 500 champion. Cameron Garlington is currently running in the 11th position. He's got a good chance of possibly winning this race if he can catch up to these guys and get a good pit stop when the 2nd cycle of pit stops runs. And Garlington, he could go back-to-back. That almost happened in season number 4. Gabriel Wanderley on the final lap of that race in the Kidz Kolorz 500 in season number 4 went to the inside of Garrison for the lead, but he came down the pit lane on the final lap of the race. Now, we still don't know why that happened, but Wanderley almost won that race, and he ended up winning Las Vegas as well. Gabriel Wanderley could have opened up season number 4. The winner of the first 3 races of the season. It almost happened, but it did not because Wanderley came down the pit lane on that final lap in the Season 4 Kidz Kolorz 500. Well, remember what I said just a few moments ago? Dale Salzman, he's taken the lead. These guys, they caught up to the leaders, and now a part-time driver is leading the field, and I think the earliest we've had a part-time driver win in a season was Alex Bonsignor in Season 4 at California. Dale Salzman, a part-time driver, and now if a part-time driver were to win, or Cameron Garlington were to win this race, that would guarantee that the points leader at the end of the regular season would make it into the chase. We want to make sure that the points leader makes it in. That's a big deal, so we would like to see a part-time driver win a race, or another driver win multiple races this season in the regular season, so that the points leader is guaranteed a spot in the chase. Of course, if you win a race and you're a full-time driver, you're automatically locked into the chase no matter what. And Blaine Keyes and Brian Madden know that. They are the 2 drivers who at this moment are the 2 most dominant guys in this race so far. They're running side by side for the lead. Madden's going to take it away from Keyes. Here comes Isaac Nichols, a rookie driver in the number 83. He has 1 career win on Napa Fan. It came in the Indy Light Series. He'd like to step that up and get a win in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, and you know what? He's going to get to the inside of Ryan Madden and take the lead. Noah Kolorz running in the 2nd position now as he gets around the 77. He might try to get to the inside of Isaac Nichols, and they're going to go 3 wide. No, they're not going to go 3 wide for the lead. Nichols will clear the number 3 of Noah Kolorz. So we got this pack here. Cameron Garlington's all by himself right now, the number 47. 3.5 seconds behind the lead draft. Then you got these guys here. Jay Jefferson here, Joe Larson, Alonso, Matt Tuck, Garrett Morris with this pack as well. Marty Johnson, Colin Driver, Daniel Bouchard, Jonathan King, and Ace Garcia. They're going to catch up to Cameron Garlington, and Garlington will join this pack, and we'll see if that pack can catch up to this pack here. They're 3 wide in this pack right now, and Richard Kinghart in the number 19 is going to take the lead on lap 43 of 65. We're closing in on a couple of lapped cars, or couple of cars on the tail end of the lead lap, I should say. Caleb Hoffman was involved in that crash, and Donovan Duthin, I'm not sure what happened to him, but he's at the end of the pack right now in the number 18. Anthony Lopez to the inside of Richard Kinghart, but the inside lane might get held up here by Caleb Hoffman. And I do not believe that's going to happen. Lopez is going to get around the number 14 and the number 72 out front here at Atlanta with now 21 laps to go in the Kidz Kolorz 500. Guys better be careful going around Caleb Hoffman here. He is a little bit slower, and sometimes these guys do get a little impatient. They might go 4 wide trying to get around him, and when you go 4 wide, you obviously saw what happened earlier on in the race. It just does not work. It looks like we might be getting our second cycle to begin here shortly because John Art's down the pit lane. He was one of the first guys to come down under the second cycle of pit stops, but the third cycle is about to begin, I do believe, and we're 20 laps to go in this race. We might actually have a fuel strategy race. It could end up being a 4-stopper because of the way that caution fell out. When that caution fell out, I do wanted to say there. Anthony Lopez is still the leader in the number 72. Ricky Stevenson, Isaac Nichols, and Blaine Keyes on the inside. Dale Salzman in his pack as well. They're getting around Reagan Whitlock. It does appear that Caleb Hoffman might have successfully joined this pack in the number 14. Seems like he's up to speed. And yes, these guys are coming down. Nope, they're not. They were actually moving up the racetrack in anticipation for some guys to come down the pit lane, but that was not the case. So I think this is going to be a 3-stop race, and I think this final stop that we're going to have here is going to be the last one here at Atlanta. Isaac Nichols to the inside of Anthony Lopez for the lead. Blaine Keyes, Dale Salzman, Richard Kinghart, Noah Kolorz on the inside lane. I think somebody scraped the outside wall. It might have been Stevenson in the 38. And now these guys are going to come down the pit lane, and the cycle has begun. Isaac Nichols, while the leader, comes down with Dale Salzman, Richard Kinghart, Noah Kolorz, the number 95 of Daniel McMillan. And you see, look at these guys back in here. They were in the second pack. They've closed in on these leaders, so they might actually have a chance of winning this race. Matt Tuck, Colin Driver, Jay Jefferson, here, Jarlarvin Alonso. We actually had some guys come in the lap before, and I believe they're coming back out onto the racetrack right now. Daniel Bouchard in the number 11. He's going to make his way out into the racetrack. Another thing we're going to watch for yet again is these guys going double wide, exiting the pit lane, because that can sometimes result in a crash. See these guys coming off the pit lane here right now. Now, if this race was a 50-lap race, it would definitely be very exciting, but it's not a 50-lap race this year, just 65 laps and a little bit longer this year, and not going to be like it was last year. Noah Kolorz, Matt Tuck, they were side by side, but they're going to figure it out. Trey Bartow and Al Legacy. These guys have definitely seem to understand that going double wide off the pit lane just does not work, so they seem to be letting each other go if they are double wide. Garrett Tenor, he was in a double wide situation the first time by. I don't know if he's going to let Jonathan King by this time. The second time, Garrett Tenor has been double wide exiting the pit lane. It's usually right there where they crash, but fortunately they do not. Sid Norris going to file behind Jonathan King. And now it gets interesting. Who is the leader? So I think it's all cycled through now, and the final stop has been completed. It's Anthony Lopez in the number 72 who is going to remain out front for TriStar Motorsports, and Aiden Shepard, the owner of the team, a single-car team looking to beat everybody else here in the Kidz Kolorz 500. But Blaine Keyes, Isaac Nichols, they want a different side of the story because neither of these guys have won before in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Of course, Isaac Nichols is a rookie driver, but Blaine Keyes, he raced in season number 1 of this series, and he raced in at least 3 seasons prior, or actually at least 3 seasons including this one, if not 4 seasons in this series, so he would like to get his first career win. He's going for the lead right now to the inside of Anthony Lopez. Donovan Duthin in front of these guys is on the tail end of the lead lap. Here comes Dale Salzman in the number 96. Had a very strong season in the Aero Electric Pro Series, And I'm wondering if that strong season that he had is going to translate into success here in the Cup Series. They run the same cars, so you might want to see this, might want to expect this number 96 of Dale Salzman possibly getting a win this season as a part-time driver. He might get it today, as here he is, looking to take second away from Isaac Nichols late in the going here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Blaine Kidz is out front, lap 53 of 65. Ricky Stevenson in the number 38 is here, and he's going to have a chance of winning this race for Front Row Motorsports. Brad Stover, the owner of that team. Chris Skinlart's a lap down. Around Ryan Madden and Richard Kinghart, they fell off of the lead pack. Now Daniel McMillan, he was actually in the second pack, and he's joining these guys in this little 3-car pack here that's trying to catch up to our leaders. Daniel Bouchard. Then you got these guys here. Eric Olmenhart, Marty Johnson, Garrett Zenor, Matt Tuck. Noah Kars fell back tremendously in number 3. He was in the lead pack before the cycle began. And Jonathan King in number 33. Caleb Hoffman is a lap down. Back out front, Anthony Lopez trying to get around Dale Salzman, who just took the lead. Now Salzman has got a good chance of getting his first career Chick-fil-A Cup Series win here today as a part-time driver. And Gaunt Brothers Racing, owned by Cookie Helms. Cookie Helms, the winner of the NRLOA Big One last year. That's going to be coming up in a couple of weeks. But right now, we're focused on this race, and Dale Salzman's leading the field in the number 96. Here comes Anthony Lopez to the inside for the lead. It's 10 laps to go on the Kidz Kolorz 500, and one of these 5 guys is going to win this race, and only one of them, actually, excuse me, 2 of them are veteran drivers. Dale Salzman is actually a veteran driver in the number 96, but he's never raced a full-time season, so that's why I didn't think he was a veteran driver. But he's driving like a veteran in this one, right behind the number 72. He's going to get to the inside and try to take the lead back with 9 laps to go in the Kidz Kolorz 500. Now Jonathan Duthit, he's a lap down right now on the number 18, so he is going to play into this race. Blaine Kidz really wants it. I can tell you that right now because he's been in this series longer than any of these other guys. He's racing more races than any of these other guys in this pack. And he's never won before. None of these guys have ever won before in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, so they're definitely going to fight hard for this win at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Now these guys, they might try to catch up. They might have a chance. They're 2.72 seconds behind the lead pack right now, so I just don't think they're going to have a chance. But then again, I didn't really think guys like Garlington and Bartow, well, they were back in the field in the Daytona 500, were going to have a chance of winning, and Garlington ended up winning the race. Here we go, Cameron Garlington, Jesse Turner, excuse me, wrong driver there. Get all these veterans mixed up now. I don't know what's wrong with my head. But Jesse Turner getting in the way of the leaders. Here comes Blaine Kidz in number 48. He's going to get to the inside of Dale Salzman for the lead. Isaac Nichols in the number 83 is also going to get around to the inside of Dale Salzman, and Nichols might get around to the inside of Blaine Kidz. Isaac Nichols is now out front here in the Kidz Kolorz 500 with 6 laps to go at Atlanta. And if one of these full-time guys wins this race, they are going to be in the chase for Season 6 of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Don't look now, but these guys are closing in. Just a couple of laps ago was 2.7 seconds. Now it's 2.5 seconds. Ryan Madden, Daniel McMillan, Richard Kinghart. I don't know if they're going to have enough time, but they might come close to possibly catching up to this pack. Number 83, Isaac Nichols, leads the field on lap 61 of 65. 4.5 laps to go here at Atlanta. And number 72 is now going to get a run to the inside of Isaac Nichols. Anthony Lopez. And here comes Ricky Stevenson. He's been kind of quiet in this race in number 38, but he might very well get the win for Front Row Motorsports. He's going to get to the inside of Anthony Lopez for the lead. And now Ricky Stevenson's going to be out front here in the Kidz Kolorz 500. Blaine Kidz, the most experienced driver in this lead pack, trying to get the victory for the first time in his career. He's going to push Donovan Duthit to the inside of Stevenson and Lopez, and he's going to go 3 wide for the lead and take it on lap 62. 3 laps to go in the Kidz Kolorz 500 here at Atlanta. We had 1 caution early on, and it does appear that this one will go caution-free to the end from that last caution that we had back on lap 11 of the race. So this one having a long green flag run in it, just like it was last season. Blaine Kidz is going to take it with 2 laps to go. Here comes Dale Salzman and Anthony Lopez. I believe one of these 3 guys is going to win. I think Nichols and Stevenson, they're just too far back right now. It does appear that Blaine Keyes is pulling away a little bit from the rest of these guys, so that's good news for the number 48. Remember, while a run goes on, the tires wear out and it gets harder to pass, and I believe we might have hit that point. So the tires, they're definitely worn. But will Dale Salzman have enough to get around Blaine Keyes on this final lap? It's going to be the white flag in the Kidz Kolorz 500 here at Atlanta. Anthony Lopez for second. That's exactly what Blaine Keyes wants to see. Those guys battling for second place. Will the 48 of Blaine Keyes win his first ever race in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series? Or will somebody else, a rookie driver maybe, get this win? You see John R. coming off the pit lane. Not going to be a factor. This one is over. Blaine Keyes in the number 48 will win his first ever Chick-fil-A Cup Series race here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Blaine Keyes wins the Kidz Kolorz 500. And I believe we had some guys coming down the pit lane right at the end of this one. Some of these guys could not make it to the end. Daniel Bouchard, Cody Sill, Dane Ammon back in there in the 51. But the number 48 of Blaine Keyes, he's going to be in the chase for season number 6 of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. With this, his first career victory in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, driving for Hendrick Motorsports. John Andrews, the owner of this team, grabbing the victory in the Kidz Kolorz 500. It went caution-free throughout most of the race with the exception of that early crash. And a long green flag run here at Atlanta gives the win. The Blaine Keyes in the number 48, his first career Chick-fil-A Cup Series victory. And with that, he's going to be in the chase for Season 6 of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Anthony Lopez, a great run for him. Ricky Stevenson in the number 38, a third-place finish for that Front Row Motorsports team. Dale Salzman, a part-time driver, fourth-place finish here. Isaac Nichols, Daniel McMillan, Ryan Madden, Richard Kinghart, Eric Ulmenhart, and Noah Kars, the top 10 finishers here in the Kidz Kolorz 500. We had that one crash, but it did not actually knock out anybody in the race. Jordan Lopez only had his issue because of something that happened on the pit lane, I do believe, and it was not crash-related. So all the guys theoretically finished with the exception of Jordan Lopez. Nobody got knocked out because of crash damage, so that's a good thing. And the crash that we had was not too major either, so good to see that it was relatively calm race here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, kind of unlike the Daytona 500 we had on Saturday. There are the rest of the finishing results here for the Kidz Kolorz 500. A lot of veteran drivers back in there, but hey, it's still early on in the season. We still have 14 races left in the regular season, and one of those veteran drivers and even the rookie drivers, they're going to get wins as this regular season goes on, and they're going to make the chase, and they're going to contend for a championship here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Anyways, the next race here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series is going to be on Wednesday. It's going to be the Braille Battery 400 at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and that could get interesting because the fuel window there is 15 laps compared to 20 laps at other mile-and-a-half racetracks. So it could get a little crazy there for Wednesday's race. But Matt Dalio, the defending winner of that one, maybe his luck will turn around at the World Center of Gambling, I guess you could say. But Las Vegas Motor Speedway is definitely a great racetrack, and it's going to be a fun one to watch come Wednesday. Anyways, thank you guys very much for watching. Congratulations to Blaine Keyes on his first career Chick-fil-A Cup Series victory. He gets it done here in the Kidz Kolorz 500, and he's going to be in the chase for Season 6 of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Here are the point standings for the Chick-fil-A Cup Series for the drivers, the owners, and the Rookie of the Year standings. And that is it for me. I will see you guys later.
I don't think there's anything wrong. I've got time and